Hey everybody, it's Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I have my December haul for you guys. So I got a bunch of books for Christmas as well as some other bookish items that I'm super excited about. So I'm going to do bookish items first and then books after that. So let's get into it. I'm so excited, you guys. I got so many cool things. So first up, we have this thing, which looks kind of like a book, and then you open it and it's a light. Oh my goodness. I've seen these online before or like in Bookstagram pictures or whatever. And I've wanted one for like years. It's been on my list, on my like Amazon wish list for like a few years now. And I never got it until this year. I'm so excited. So it looks like a book that has a light in it. And it's got two colors. So it has like the orange one and then like the white one. And it looks like a book. And I'm so hyped to use this in some pictures and just to have it. It just makes me very happy. Next up, we have this mug that says Richmond Library since 1892. This is from a place near where my grandparents live, and it's just a very nice mug, and I like it. And then we have this really cool art piece that says, "The heart is an arrow, it demands aim to land true," from Six of Crows. My friend Mariah got this for me, so thanks to Mariah. Yeah, it's actually over a page from a dictionary, which I think is really cool. But yeah, it's just gorgeous. I love this quote too, and yeah. Then I got this insanely cool coin that you can flip to decide what happens with the rest of your night. So one side says "go to bed," and the other side says "one more chapter." And it's just so cool, which is the funniest thing about this coin is that I actually saw this for the first time like a week before Christmas. Somebody on one of the online places that one of the Discord servers I was in, somebody had posted that they got like something similar to this, and I was like, whoa, that's such a fun idea, like I love that. I'd never heard of it before, and then I got it in my stocking and I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. So it's just really fun, and you can decide whether or not you one more chapter. We'll keep reading then. And then another thing I got is this sweatshirt, which I will give you a better view of, but it is actually all of the words from the book Les Mis. I don't know actually if it's like every single word, but it is words from the book of Les Mis on the sweatshirt, which my friend Kat got me, which I'm super excited about. It's very comfy and warm and just really cool. And then, you guys, I have to show you the best Christmas present I've ever received. And it is... It's also like the most creative and just the coolest thing ever. But it is this reading journal that my friend Kat made for me. So this is the front obviously, and then we open it up. She also put an instruction sheet in here, which is honestly kind of smart, so that way I can use it. But she came up with this whole system. So there's a star rating system based on the colors, so I can color things in with, depending on how many stars that I gave that book with that color. And then she knew that my goal was 50 books. My goal is always 50 books. I usually surpass that, but it's always like starts at 50. So like she made this page, which is like goal, and then I can fill in these boxes with like the color as I read them. And then this one is, I can make it into like little bookshelves, so I like draw a little book on it, and then I can track how many days I've read throughout the year as well. I can do top winner book of the year, so I put my top book from each month and then have a grand winner. Put how many genres or what genres I'm reading. She made a TBR, a couple pages for TBR, and then for each month she made these for each individual book, so I can put what star I gave it, title, author, pages, overview, plot, characters, recommend, and thoughts. So it's just like a little thing. I think she said she divvied it up, so it should be like 20 books per month, which I never read that many books per month, but she's like, also, I can't math, so that might not be right. But she made it for like each month. She made like the little thing at the top, like different for each month. And then this is my favorite part. And she made this cool thing called Food for Thought. And so she basically put different questions that you can answer for each book, but like the questions are different for each food for thought, and she made 50 of them. So like, okay, Food for Thought 23 says, what predictions did you have for the plot and were they correct? What details / plot points were the most interesting to you? Quick, you have to summarize the entire plot in 3 seconds. Go, or 3 sentences. Go. And who is the most fascinating supporting character to you and why? Right? So that's 23. And then we'll flip to 44. You now have to live as one of the characters. Who are you picking and why? What would happen if the story had to carry on without the main character? Which character did you think would be your favorite and who ended up actually being your favorite? What is one thing you'd change in the book and why would you change it? And she like put stickers and scrapbook paper and just made it like absolutely gorgeous. And then also put pages for rants for each book too, so I can just, it's just like a blank page so I can write whatever I want. And then she also, because she knows I like annotating books, made this whole annotation thing and gave me sticky notes that are really cool to go with it. So like she has this like, okay, there's a leaf one. And it says, use this for new connections between characters, both good and bad, or when something new is introduced to the plot or backstory. So, like, anytime something like that happens, I can put a leaf in there. She made it has bandages, there's like a thinking one and a paint splatter, and oh my gosh! Like, and then, yeah, also made this little instruction sheet so that way I know kind of how to use each section. Like, literally, and she put on here, in all, I thought this might be fun for you because of your love for reading and your YouTube channel. I hope you like it. Like, the best gift, most creative gift, coolest gift I've ever received. I don't know if she even watches these videos or not. She also doesn't have social media, so I texted her, obviously. But I can't even, like, shout from the rooftops about how amazing she is without, like, actually tagging her in anything. But, yeah. Best gift I've ever received. I'm so incredibly hyped to be able to use this year, and we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, I'm so happy. So, yeah, she probably doesn't watch these, but thank you, Kat. This is the coolest gift, and I will never stop yelling about it. Okay, now we'll get into the actual books for the month of December. So I only bought one book for myself, and that is Perfect Scoundrels by Allie Carter. This is a high society novel. I don't know which one in the series it actually is. I own the first one, and I think I've read it, but I really don't remember, so I need to read them. But this was at a used bookstore, so I got it. And then we move into gifts. So the first two I have were from my cousin Megumi, and that is The Scorpio Races and The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. So I don't remember if I've talked about this at all before, but a funny story about the Raven Cycle books is that for my cousin like book exchange or cousin gift exchange that we do, you can put like a wish list, and I noticed a couple of years ago that they have like all the Raven Cycle books on that wish list. And so I was like, oh, I just put the first one like 3 years ago to like, or 4 years ago, I guess it would be now, to be like, oh, like I just read this book this year and loved it, whatever. And then I got it, and I was like, awesome. And then the next year, I put book 2 on the list and got that. So this has been 4 years in the making, so now I finally have all 4 books in the Raven Cycle series, so I plan to reread them this coming year, or this year in 2023. So yeah, it's just really funny that could I have bought them for myself? Absolutely, but it makes like an easy present to put on my list, and my cousins all know I love to read, so like, makes it easy. And then yeah, she also got me The Scorpio Races, which I hadn't read until this past month, so you'll hear more about that in my December wrap-up video. But yeah, really enjoyed this one as well, and can add it to my collection. Next up from my parents, I got These Violent Lights and Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which I read for the first time this past year and fell in love with, and I'm so excited to like have copies of these and be able to reread them, because I 100% will be rereading them. From my uncle, I actually got Some Faraway Place by Lauren Shippen. So now I have 2 out of the 3 of the Bright Sessions books. So if you haven't heard me talk about these, this is a it's a book that's based on a podcast called The Bright Sessions, which is about a therapist for people with superpowers. I feel like the other 2 books you could probably read without having listened to the podcast, but this one you really need to it won't be as enjoyable or make like hardly any sense if you haven't listened to the podcast, especially because this one follows Rose and her journey through kind of the events of season 4 and a little bit before and a little bit after. But it also includes letters from Damien, which like you meet Damien in season 2 of the Bright Sessions, but like it has a lot to do with like a big thing that happens at the end of season 3. And so it's kind of like his letters are kind of the aftermath of that. So I feel like you really, it won't be as enjoyable, or you won't understand like anything going on, especially with Damien's point of view in this book if you haven't listened to the podcast. But it's a fantastic podcast, highly recommend, and now I'm happy to own a copy. I honestly don't remember who bought me this book, but I also got Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I read this 2 years ago? Last year? I don't even remember now. It's a Queen of Hearts like backstory from Alice in Wonderland, which is super cool. And actually there are some, this one school ended up making a musical out of Heartless, which I still haven't watched yet because I feel like I need to reread the book before I watch it. So now I have my own copy so I can reread it. And then these are from my grandparents. Actually, this is from a somebody at their church. I worked in their library a couple summers ago and helped them like catalog stuff. And they had an old copy of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott sitting around, so they gave it to me. Which is funny because I didn't actually own a copy of this book. I've definitely read it a few times now. But yeah, now I'm happy to have my own copy. Also, the 2019 movie version of Little Women is like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so fantastic. And I think it's a good adaptation. I don't know. I'm also not like super attached to the book as far as like adaptations go, but yeah, I just love that movie so much, and now I have a copy of the book too. And then from my grandparents, the last one I got, I Hope You Get This Message by Faraz Rishi. So I read this, it must have been 2 years ago now, in 2021, and thought it was such a cool idea. So it's about like this, you follow multiple characters first of all, but basically Earth has been contacted by this alien planet, and people are like, it's the end of the world, because they're gonna like kill everybody, because the aliens are like, we're gonna kill everybody. And so you follow a couple of characters. So there's one guy who owns a like a radio tower, and then two characters who end up journeying together to this radio tower. And the thing is that like I don't remember a whole ton about it. I remember really enjoying it, but I know like some of the characters end up like actually being connected, and also I love the idea of like being thrown together for a trip. I think that's such an interesting idea. So it was really fascinating, and I'm excited to have it. Now I can reread it. So yeah, those are all the things that I got in the month of December. Comment down below, let me know if you got anything cool for Christmas, and if you have read any of these books and what your thoughts were on them. Honestly, the only book that I hadn't read before I got it for Christmas was, I don't know where it went, but The Scorpio Races, which I then read in the month of December. So now all the books that I got, I have read, which is a little bit funny, but I enjoy owning books, so that's totally fine. And they're ones that like I would have bought eventually anyway, so now I don't have to buy them for myself. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to follow me on social media, all my links will be in the description as always. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!